Mm.
Welcome. You are tuned in to another week of Access Granted, the pod. Sharing your boy, Mr. Antoine, in the building. My sister, my compadre, my homie, Lisa Monet is in the building. Was this a sucker Monday for you as it was for me? Because my Monday was bad. This was a bad Monday.
And I usually don't. It wasn't a bad Monday. I just didn't have enough hours in the Monday. It wasn't enough.
So it wasn't the fact. It could have been any day, and it would have been.
It wasn't it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. I had pretty good. It was cool. I did what I did. Hey,
shout out to my man Blizzard for checking in. Yeah, this was so you know that I go in the office now 2 days a week.
Yes.
And Mondays is the day I chose. So people always ask me why I chose Monday as one of the days. I chose Mondays because most of the state holidays fall on Mondays. So on the holidays, I don't have to go into the office. So I was slick about it.
Okay.
But today was just one of those, I don't know. It was just one of those can't get right days. It was one of those can't get right days. And I have, you know how you have people that have the entire alphabet after their name, their PhD, their such and such and such and such. And about as
don't get in trouble.
Yeah. Never mind.
Don't get in trouble. But I get what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
I had to deal with a lot of alphabets today. And it was a bit much. But thankful to have a job.
Yes. Yep.
Contemplating retirement from the state in the very near future. So be on the lookout because I might throw a party on Federal Hill today.
So what would be retirement? I know of a couple people that did early retirement, like she's my cousin. By marriage, she early retired from
the state
corrections.
Oh yeah. So
I think corrections. I'm not sure.
This will be full term for me, the full 30 years because I've been there since 1995.
Oh, okay.
I have to rub my head when I think about it, but yeah, something on the back burner. Stay tuned. I'll talk about it more as I get closer to it. But even when you retire, you still work.
Of course.
Because unfortunately, retirement for me from the state of Maryland will not require or will not allow me to continue to live the lifestyle that I like to live. So,
well, now is the time for you to,
hey, Mama.
Well, you still are young enough to tap into what you really love. What do you love?
There's a lot, but my plan is to not work for anybody else again.
That could be good too.
And I'll just leave it at that. Even if I gotta move down and be Kyndra's like personal assistant, her valet or something.
Okay.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's the pandemic's fault.
It's a pandemic fault?
Because the pandemic and having the opportunity to work from home for 4 years totally did it. It makes me never want to go into the office again.
Okay.
You know, if we would have continued teleworking, I would consider staying a little while longer.
Okay.
And just have that option of when y'all get on my nerves, I know I can leave anytime I want to.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we are back in the office, it's not even an option.
Oh.
And the one thing that I've noticed over like the past 3 weeks is that there's more traffic in the tunnels because of the bridge collapsing.
I
so
can
now
imagine.
those thousands of people that would have crossed the bridge now have to detour and go through tunnels. And what should be a 15-minute ride for me now is taking 45 minutes going and 45 minutes coming. And
wow.
If me just being tired wasn't enough, this traffic is definitely pushing me overboard. So
I can imagine. Wow.
Out of there. So yeah.
Yeah. And that's that's not going to be anytime. By the time they probably fix it and have it up and going, you will be retired.
I'd have been long gone anyway.
Yeah, you'd have been retired by the time.
The only partial relief is that schools will be out soon.
True.
So there will be a little less traffic, but it's too much for me. Yeah. Anything going on in your world before we bring Miss Crump to the forefront?
Gangsters Moving Silence.
You're going to let us know when that album's dropping. I'm going to need you to stop playing. Back in the building with us this week, y'all, we have Kyndra Crump.
Yeah.
We can see her and hear her.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a slow moment because I want to take accountability because some that a lot of women don't do. No shade, but shade. Let me take accountability real quick. I had a slow moment. So my camera button on here, I didn't turn it on. I was doing everything, but I didn't even push that button. That's what it was messed up.
That's okay.
And I didn't realize that till a week later. I'm like, oh well, these were rescheduled.
Everything happens for a reason, so it's all right.
Does.
I was ready to say it's okay. Technology happens, such and such and such and such. You just didn't push the button.
No, it's working with customer service, man. I feel like it makes you a little bit slower, man. Because all those people, I'm like, bro, I be losing brain cells talking to y'all, man. I'm like, how y'all cannot be this dumb, man? Like, if I put a lot of these people's brains in a bird, it will fly backwards, right? That's how dumb a lot of people are. That's it.
Says the person that didn't push the camera button.
I know.
So what's been going on? How has life been since the last time we?
Let's see. Life is great. I'm in therapy now, so I'm so proud of myself. That's the one thing I was trying to run from it. I was like, oh, let me go do nature walks. Let me go flood God's inbox, and God kept putting me on do not disturb and send my prayers to spam. So it was not working, right?
Right.
So
okay.
So no, I want to talk about that a little bit because first of all, salute to you for taking a step. I did it. I started probably around 6 months or so ago. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And
it's great.
We've talked on this show when we've had other guests on about therapy, mental health, and all of that kind of stuff being so taboo in the Black community. We don't want to admit that we need help. We automatically, when we mention the word therapy, that's, oh, we're crazy, oh, we're about to commit suicide, we're going to go jump off the bridge, we're going to do such and such and such. But a lot of people don't realize that you can use therapy as the preventive maintenance to keep you from doing that kind of stuff. So being as transparent as you choose to be or not be, what made you decide to go and get therapy?
Yeah,
other than some of the stuff that you be posting on Facebook that make me think you might be crazy anyway.
Well, no, I will say this, right? I had to go to therapy because I've dealt with childhood trauma since I was like 8 years old, right? That's damn near 20 years in the making, right? And I, of course, coming from a evangelistic household, my mom, single parent. So we started off at riches. I'm still at rags. I'm like, God, I am humble. I know what both sides of the fence look like. Like, I am trying to move out apartments. Okay. Like, but all in his timing, right? So, with that being said, a lot of it was like, what goes on in this house stays in this house. A lot of it was, I just prayed away. I remember the first time my mom tried to put me into therapy was when my parents were divorcing. I remember also around that time as well, they had a thing called Rainbows at my school. And it was for kids whose parents were either going through a divorce or they was separated and they needed to find like a different altar. And what's so cool is that I still have that booklet still to this day. And it's in one of my cabinets. So I like Rainbows. It was great because a lot of my other classmates were family members were, so of course I didn't feel on like a nice little kid support group. Right. And so what happens was transpiring. I'm dealing with, my father. He was there financially, which is great. But if you're only there financially, what else? I need more than that. It takes more than just, hey, here's money and then go on with your life. I can't deal with that. And God rest his soul. And I learned that parents, y'all are both parents, right? Yeah, I know. With you, okay, so
yeah, I am.
Y'all do the best that y'all can. So of course there's no guidebook when it comes to parenting. A lot of it, I've learned with my mother, it was hurt people. So I didn't have the best relationship with my mom. I said this, I've said this joke, she doesn't like this joke. I said, man, shout out to the mothers and daughters who beef 3 days out the week. Like we cool on those other days. And it's like, yeah, you beef with yourself, but I always crack jokes with her. My mama is hilarious, right? And I've always had a smart mouth where I'm like, bro, that's why when she wears purple, I'm like, bro, you look like Inspired Lean, right? Like you look like a backwards question mark, all titties, no ass. Like she said to me when I got my period. She said, I said, now I can have babies. She's like, I wanted 12 kids, one child for every month of the year. And she said, Kyndra, is that all you want to be in life? Is on your back? And I said, are you mad because that's all you were in your life? So again, I have a very
okay.
But with that being said, like I said, going back, like hurt people. So there were so many different things that my mom would say to me that she doesn't remember that would have me like honestly in a cradling, a fetal position, which is why I keep my family off the internet for a reason. I don't want nobody to like try to stone her for what she said, back in the biblical days, they were just stoning people like, yeah, you said this about kids,
Right. Gotcha.
What I used to do as well was I used to step on cracks and try to like break her back. And then I come in the house.
Oh my God.
She would speaking in tongues. I'm like, bro, what the heck? It's not working. So I literally, but I will say this. Like,
Lisa, I warned you the last time she was up here. We just didn't get to this point.
It's okay.
I had to learn. You have to forgive people. Like, I know that's something that a lot of people. It may be hard because when I tell you, forgiveness, I thought I forgave my mom and I thought I forgave other people, and then situations would happen, and I could tell I still harbored some resentment. And forgiving for me because I held so much hatred towards her. I don't know if you guys are. It's a famous story in the Bible, New Testament, where Jesus heals the woman with the issue of blood, where she had said, "I can only touch. If I can touch his cloth, then I'll be healed." And he healed her, pretty much. And so that was the same thing for me. She had to wait 12 years for him to come back. Like I kept going from one doctor to the next doctor to the next doctor. No one could figure out what was wrong with me, right? And that forgiveness was making me sick. I was literally killing myself slowly, so I had to finally forgive. It all went away, right? And then I had to tell my mom, like, mom, I had so much unforgiveness towards you. But like I said, I kept thinking to myself, it's like, how is it that you are on this walk with God like every day? And I'm not saying, let me say this, my mom is not a bad person whatsoever.
I understand.
But it's just that I've learned, again, like I say, hurt people. And again, she's doing the best that she can and everything else. So going back to answering that question, the childhood trauma of, like I say, my father not being present, right? The sibling relationship that I wanted and I never did get. Like I wanted to have that like first 3 seasons of Fresh Prince when it was worth watching. When Ashley and Will had that great bond, I wanted that for my older brother, right? Nettie and Celie, not this new age Color Purple. I'm not watching that musical crap. We talking about old school. No offense to the people who like new age Color Purple. We talking about old school. How Nettie and Celie had loved each other so much. I wanted that for my sister, but I also had learned, maturity taught me that if you're not on the same spiritual wavelength with somebody, then it's not going to happen, right? So again, and it's okay, Hey, listen, I just they're good for the different things that I may need them, because look, I told you I live in the hood, so if I need some packages, I just ship them off to my sister's house and we meet somewhere, like we're doing a drug dealer drop off, right? So it's great. It's great. Yeah. I ain't better have somebody steal packages on my front porch.
I got you.
And the ring camera does not stop them from stealing your packages. So
it won't. That's why I never looked to install one. But with that being said, that's, like I said, that's pretty much what. And actually, as I've learned as well, I have so many different mental disorders that's wrong with me that, again, I could tell my mom this. I'm gonna tell y'all guys what it is shortly, but I can tell my mom this, which is like, oh, you have it because you say you have, your words have power. And I'm like, moms, that, yes, your words have power, but can we actually be realistic? Can we please be realistic, mom? Like, but again, hey, but people, whatever they believe in, especially when they get to a certain age, you got to accept it, right? So I'm gonna tell you guys the different mental disorders I've had. And I knew something was wrong with me for the longest, like ADHD. I just found out that I'm autistic. I will like have these autistic rants, right? And a lot of times people just run away, and I'm like, instead of, I'm like, guys, like, you don't want to stay and like figure out what's wrong with me, whatever. Okay, ADHD, autistic, borderline personality disorder. I'm a sex addict and I'm trying to starve that. So I haven't done nothing since August. I had my titty sucked by this woman like last week and it was terrible. So, probably that was God's way of like coming back at me for not abstaining until marriage. I'm like, what the hell are you doing right now? Yeah, that's okay. It's my fault for wanting to be a part lesbian. Yeah. Anyway. Let's see.
It's not too often that I'm speechless on my own damn show, but right now I'm just.
What else is impulsivity? Very impulsive person.
Okay.
What else is wrong with me? I'm trying to think. It's I think that's it for now. We'll just check with me in a year.
Right. Next week. But let me ask you this on the real though. So I know that you like me, you tried different things. You tried, walking on the beach, you tried walking in the park, such. Was there something in particular, or was there a particular moment when you said, okay, all of this other stuff isn't working, let me finally sit down and talk about it? Or did you just decide on a whim, everything else isn't working?
Yeah, to honestly, I actually I had and I apologize in the future if I do cut you off. It's like I try to remember, like, okay, let people talk. Part of one of my, the ADHD it jumps out. Like I just want to let y'all know that. So I apologize.
It's all right.
So to answer your question, I had told myself, so I got checked into the mental hospital early part of my 20s. And at the time I got checked in because I felt like I was worthless in the sense of I wanted a boyfriend, right? I tried everything. Baby, I done had the creamy crack. I done had that long hair, don't care, Rapunzel extensions, right? I said, let me go get some lashes. Let me do the contacts. Let me shave my whole bare body. I'm looking like a Sphinx cat. Okay, I'm hairless. All right. And it's still... I was still would not get anyone. Or let me, I have a nice stripper body. He came from Dr. God, okay, not Dr. Miami. All right. Anyway, so I'm like, oh, let me show off my body. Baby, I was getting these broke, busted, erectile dysfunction, arthritis, gingivitis in their mouth, teeth throwing up gang sign, hairline going back further than abuse in the Jackson family type of Negroes. I was getting the studs, okay? Stud stands for still titties under that shirt. I'm tired of 8-ball MJG. I'm tired of Trick Daddy. I am tired of Webby. Hollered at me. Can I get a woman who's a pretty stud, which I've only seen a couple times? I said, oh, okay, what's up, sis? Back to the story. So I was getting all of those people, and it was making me effing miserable. And I'm like, why am I continuously getting these people? Maybe I'm only meant to, and they only want to have relations, right? So maybe I'm only meant to be somebody's freak of the week, right? And it made me really extremely depressed. And I just remember I woke up and I didn't want to get out of bed. Like, I didn't want to commit suicide, because from what I was told, and this is just what I believe, that when you commit suicide, you're going to hell. And that's a place I've always have been trying to stay away from, but in my mind, I was pretty much living on, like, I was living in hell in my mind. I was just going crazy. So I just woke up and I said, bro, I don't want to be here. So I remember it was a friend of mine at the time. He sent me a text. He says, how are you doing? I sent him like a 3-page message, 3-page message telling him how I feel, I want to die, all that. So he checked me into the hospital. And baby, when I tell you I love the mental hospital, because we ate 3 times a day, more than I eat at my own house. Okay. So, but
not
at the time,
yes.
Oh wait, I'm diagnosed with severe depression as well. And then suicidal ideation. So, I was like, I knew something else was like, I'm missing something. So, they said, okay, go to therapy. Now, mind you, at the time, I don't think I had insurance, but it still was costing, like, I had to it just cost so much to go to therapy. They try to put me on medication. What was it? Some antidepressant. I can't remember the name of it, but it had me so sleepy that day. I felt groggy. Like, the Kyndra you see right now, it would be a monotone, like, okay, who, like, you guys texting each other, who booked this bitch?
My bad, Lisa.
It's okay.
So I knew, okay, years go by.
Yeah.
And so what I try to do is, like I say, the self-care, going back, with that. But then it was God. And I say, man, y'all can't say that God doesn't speak to you. God speaks to you. It just depends if you want to listen or not. God kept telling me, Kyndra, you need to go to therapy. You need to go get some help. Quit coming to me about your problems, right? Like, it is, yes, cast your cares on me, but I'm giving you actual things you can do. Go talk to someone, who can problem solve, help you. And it was my own podcast, which I had took a break from. I haven't actually podcasted in about a month. Still got unreleased episodes. But I was talking to a few friends, and I was saying that one of the guests on my podcast, it's like he would say, Kyndra, I'm here for you. Or actually, no, he's pretty much the co-host. I was like, Kyndra, I'm here for you. But then he would sit here and down me for saying, I like financially stable men. Right? Because look, this cat don't make no macaroni sounds if you ain't got no cheese. All right.
No.
Okay. So he would sit here. He would I
don't know where she comes up with this stuff, and it literally, I think it just literally pops in her head at the moment that it comes out. There's no.
So he would sit here and say, I'm rooting for you, but then would say, like, you're not gonna make that happen, which of course you learn. Wisdom teachers tells you not to sit here and tell your dreams to people, because people will sit here and down it, right? But also somebody had to take into consideration, like, well, he lives in Virginia. Virginia is not the richest state, so of course he has his thought process about wealth is going to be different than yours. But I said, bro, him coming on my show, of course, and the man is hilarious, I'm not going to take that from him, but him coming on my show is really lowering my self-esteem to the point I am lashing out on him. One of my other many personalities is lashing out on him, right? And they're like, Kyndra, you not realize you keep going off? I said, I am. I don't even realize I'm blacking out, going off on him. And they're like, Kyndra, you really need to go get some help, right? Like I was really mentally breaking down, suicidal, dealing with him coming on the show. And so that was when they say, go get some help. So Sunday, I don't remember the date. It was also, yeah, it was like I say, the end of February, early March. And it was also around the same time I had quit smoking weed completely, right? Because it was, we'll get to that in a moment, because it was turning me to a whole demon, right? It made my sex addiction go up. I'm like, bro, what the whose house am I at? No, I'm just playing. Anyway, so with that being said, I decided to get in. And the person I'm with, I'm like, wow, you're great, right? So I literally had my problem solving skills. I was like so quick to want to ghost people if you said the wrong thing, especially with men, because I'm like, it'd be the principle, you know how to come at me. But some people don't. Everybody's different, right?
Yeah,
like try to really talk about, I've learned about radical acceptance, and radical acceptance basically is where you may not like the outcome of how something is, but you accept it. It's basically to life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it, right? And that will, if you have that mantra in your mind, the way that you go about certain things can help you out a lot better. And so yeah, I've had to radically accept a lot of stuff, because I'd be like, man, ready to write folks off, ready to be like, God, I always would tell God, I said, God, you ain't smiting folks like you did in the Old Testament. Okay, that's why it's too much traffic on this earth and all that. I'm like, I'm tired of these people. Just get rid of them. Somebody cheated me out. Smite, you didn't give me $30,000 like you promised me on my taxes back. Smite, you lied to me, say you wanted to go out with me, and you basically stood me up. Smite.
I love that smite. That's funny.
Oh no, that was an evil laugh right there, though. That
was. She meant
it. But no, I'm just so yeah. But no, with that's pretty much it. So it was like I said, okay. And on top of that, my relationship with God has gotten a lot better. And there are certain things where it's like, hey, when you learn to really listen to what he has to say and really get help, then more doors will be open, because again, I was sitting here, messing up so many different things for myself. It was a lot. It was really a lot. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Like a lot of people, well, I won't say a lot of people, but not everyone is comfortable enough to talk about that kind of stuff publicly. It actually helps me. It actually helps me. Like I said, I believe that getting a therapist was probably one of the smartest things that I've ever done in my life. And again, I wasn't at a point where like I was ready to go, jump in front of, a moving truck on 695. But, life was lifing. And I was always a hold it in type of person. I'm that type of person that'll listen to everybody else, but don't want to dump my stuff on everybody else kind of person. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going through something, bro, I'll sit there and I'll be a sponge with you for 2 or 3 hours, but I'm going through the stuff that I'm going through. Nah, man, I'm like it's like a wall right there. And just to be able to get that stuff out and not just have somebody say, oh, bro, it's going to be okay. You'll be all right. Give it to God, bro. God will do it, such and such and such and such. But actually give you some actual, some information and some tools on how to deal with the stuff. It's absolutely amazing. So I commend you. I commend you for taking that step.
Yeah.
Definitely commend you for taking that step.
And I mean, I'm sorry, Antoine.
No, go ahead.
Okay. And that's a beautiful thing for you, Kyndra, because there are people that are actually listening, walking around undiagnosed and don't have knowledge of, okay, something's off. And they just will chalk it up as being, that's my personality. Or that's just how I am, deal with me or not. Like that kind of, I've worked with people gone to school with, got family members. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really need help. And yes, we are to go with God with everything, but God also gives gifts. So the gifts that He gives are for people to help, right? They have a gift of help, and a therapist is a helper. So in actuality, God is answering your prayer, but through someone else, kind of thing, right?
That's right.
So it's like they're walking in their gift. That's them, operating in that gift through God that's helping you. So really, God did help you, but it's through another person. So
Yeah.
I
And
am
he
just
was and he was trying to help you the whole time, but you weren't listening. So it's like the story of the man that's stranded in the ocean, and God sends him three
This is the
people,
boat.
and he turns them all down. And then when he finally dies, he says, "God, what happened?" And he said, "I sent you 3 life rafts, and
yeah, I send it to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you
But then
didn't."
you also have to like she said, God talks all the time. You got to be able to. He's very still and very like to the point when he says what he got. It's not a riddle. He gonna be just like, okay, look, this is what you gotta do, kind of thing. But it's a small stillness, so you gotta get quiet to hear. So I'm happy
Nasty
Yeah.
for you.
preaching. Nasty
I'm happy for
preaching.
you.
Nasty preaching. So tell us a little bit, because I really don't know. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you're from, what you do, how many babies you got, how many side husbands you got. I
Okay,
said
so
side
I'm
husbands.
from I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, because there's Atlanta, Texas, and I think like Atlanta, Illinois. I'm like, bro,
That's
y'all
why I
be
wore the script.
that's what. And you know what I was gonna say as well. I got that same
I know.
shirt.
I know. That's why I wore it tonight.
Yes, you did.
I saw a
You
picture of
should
you
have
with this
told me
thing.
so we could have been twinning. Anyway,
Nobody want just like you. Nah, I'm just
so yeah, been here since I was 0. Okay, so
Mhm.
no kids until I get married. I got a cat. So, adulthood has taught me get a pet, not a kid for now. Wait off. So, yeah, once the cat, expires, then I'm pour out some liquor for my dead homie. I actually had some Mad Dog 2020 for the first time like last week, 2 weeks ago. I loved it. I loved it. And I was going to get some like over the weekend, but then I didn't see none in the gas station. I have to say, I think God doesn't want me to be an alcoholic no more. Wait, you're mute. You're mute, Antoine. You're mute.
I gotta stop you because I got a mad dog. I got a mad dog story. So I went to
Okay, go ahead.
school. I went to school in a little town called Montgomery, West Virginia, which is right outside of Charleston.
Hmm.
The liquor store used to sell Cisco, Mad Dog, all that kind of stuff, all kind of malt liquor, all that kind of stuff that under the age of 21 you shouldn't even have been able to buy. Better yet, been drinking.
Hmm.
So we at this party one night, um, and we go to the store and we buy some malt liquor. I think it was Colt 45.
Mm.
We buy some Cisco, and we buy. What did you just say?
Mad
Mad
You
Dog.
Dog
just said
2020.
yeah, Mad Dog. And somebody came up with the genius idea of mixing it all together
I knew you was gonna say that.
in the same concoction. And so we did that, and I think we finished off like 2 bottles of each between the three of us. So it was two
Woo!
40s, 2 bottles of Mad Dog, 2 things of Cisco. And
That
so
was fur.
the town that the college was in is a real small town. You got the college on one side, a train track going down the middle, and then the town on the other side. So we had to make it back over to our dorms as a train was coming. And I just remember seeing this train going, and I said, forget it, I'm going for it. And I took off across the train track, and I was so close that I could see the conductor. Like I could literally see the conductor looking at me saying, bro, what the heck are you doing? There's no way that I can stop this. And then
Antoine.
I took 2 more steps and I dove. And I took off like Superman. I could feel the wind from the train just go past me. And of course, it's one of those long trains. So by the time it finally totally passes, like 3 minutes later, my boys are on the other side of the train track, and they like, bro, we thought we was gonna have to send you back home in a box to your mom, and such and such and such and such. That Mad Dog by itself is a problem. When you mix it with other stuff, whew, that's my story. Go back to
Oh my God!
I thought about that as soon as
You
you
almost
said it.
killed yourself.
I was that close.
Did you quit drinking after that day, or you just quit drinking Mad Dog?
Uh, he quit
Not
Mad
only-
Dog, I guess.
Look, not only did I not quit drinking, but I have my own signature drinks out now. So that answers that question.
Oh my
no,
God!
Well,
I
I was sitting
But
down.
I probably haven't had Mad Dog or Cisco since then. I can say that. Because that
I've
was
never had. It was Cisco. I guess that's next on the try list. I never. So I was sitting down drinking. I'm like, I don't feel nothing. Somebody says you need to stand up. So I sat up, stand up. I was like, woo,
Yeah.
whoa. But that's all it did. I said, let me just sit back down. So that
we're not encouraging anybody to go try Mad Dog. I'm surprised that they.
I thought it was some type of beer. I didn't know it was wine. So I was like, oh, I wasn't like it. I got so. It was like the green apple thing. I said, okay, this isn't too bad. I drank some water because I didn't want to get a hangover. I never had a hangover. I never was a Cinco de Mayo person anyway. But anyway, with that being,
it's a straight setup because you can drink it and be like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's not that bad. It tastes pretty good. And then 3 or 4 cups later, you stand up and you get the noodle legs and you fall off. It's
not the noodle legs.
Yeah.
Funny, but no, like I said, no, I don't. Again, I'll wait until I get completely healed. And one of my prayers is to say, God, show me how to be a godly wife. Because the problem is, a lot of folks get married. Both of y'all are married. Because I know you're definitely Miss Lisa. Are you married as well?
I'm widowed, but go. I understand
okay, my condolences.
No, it's fine. Almost 18 years. I'm okay though.
Oh, okay, got you. Well. What a lot of folks say that those first 7 years of marriage are the toughest. Would you guys agree the first 7 years of marriage were pretty rough?
Yeah. It's like, what do they call it, the 7-year itch or something?
Yeah.
I would say about 5 to 7. About 5 to 7.
5 to 7. Yeah. So a lot of, and I learned this in my psychology, one of my psychology classes, that in the first 5 years, only 20% of couples really make it. Only 20%, and the reason being, I'm gonna go over them real quick. It's like access to weaponry, which is basically when you guys get into an argument and you hit below the belt. Number 2 is interdependency. Is like
that woman upstairs.
Number two is interdependency is through a magnifying glass, which basically is like, let's say you guys are at breakfast, and then one day you notice, like, hold up, why do they chew with their mouth open? And they've been doing this, but you didn't realize that first, that they chew with their mouth open, and now you are annoyed because you're like, bro, how long have you been doing this? So that's another issue. Number 3, people just stop trying. They hey, I got them now. Number 4, unrealistic expectations.
Okay.
And number 5 is unwanted or unexpected surprises. So those are the 5 things that continue to happen with a lot of people those first 5 years. And I know we call them the 3 C's, what couples argue, marital couples argue the most about: communication, children, and chores. And then finances is up there, but it's not like the part of the 3 C's. The main 3 things: communication, children, chores, and all that, and stuff like that. Or finance could be up there, number 4, but it's not up there with the 3 C's. But yes, so again, people get married, they don't know what exactly is marriage. Like, you got to really honor those vows, right? I made this YouTube video a while back, and I posted on my Facebook where I said, listen, man, ladies, y'all need to let your man have hoes, man. You over here like wondering why he's upset. Okay, come on, it's embedded into his DNA. Okay, he had the great people in the Bible had concubines. Okay, it worked out. Come on now, like let them have extra people. Come on.
It's gonna save you in the end, sis. I don't know.
Like, but hey, that's a story for another day. But
it's funny that you said that, though, because my pastor was talking about something yesterday with the women in the Bible, and I looked back at the guy that was sitting behind me, and I was like, yo, it was a lot of freaky stuff going on in the Bible.
Mhm.
There's a lot of freaky stuff going on in the Bible. But
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
can
was.
agree
But
with some of the C's though. Yeah.
no, no. Like, I was gonna
Commu-
say, do you what's something else you would add where you would where it's like a a huge argument or so?
communication and finances was always like the two head butters. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
For my situation, I can't speak for everybody else, but it's always been. And it's funny because it's communication, it's finances, and then it's communication about finances.
Oh, okay.
You know, so they
That
kind of
makes sense.
right. They're kind of separate, but they're also kind of intertwined.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and once you just learn, I so the people I don't know many people that have gotten divorced, but the people that I do know that have gotten divorced, for some reason, at least one, if not both of them, became totally different people like right after the honeymoon.
That's what I was gonna say too. Sometimes
You know what
people,
I mean? Like
yeah.
I'm a firm believer in if I was this person that made you want to date me, I was this
Mhm.
person that made you say yes, and then I was this person that you walk down the aisle with.
Hmm.
Why would I then marry you and then totally flip the script and become something totally different? Stop doing the things that we were doing. You know, I feel like I'm the same person I am 25 years ago when we got married, just a little wiser, a little, it's all about your mate. Cause I could, like her sister's on, so I'm gonna say everything nice right now, but she knows her sister and she knows that we can, life happens, relationships happen. It's never going to be perfect, but we've definitely learned how to know when to not push each other's buttons, know
Hmm.
not to hit below the belt. Words hurt more than punches sometimes.
They
Hmm.
will, and it
And,
lasts forever. That it's a lingering
and it
effect.
lasts forever. Look at my sister, she's laughing. And yeah, you just gotta it's a never ending process. Like we've been married for 25, we've been together for 28.
Hmm.
And I still feel like I'm learning her. I know her like the back of my hand, but I'm still learning something about it. Hey Chanel, thank you for tuning in. Um, and it's you never stop growing together. You know what
It's
I
true.
mean? Like you said, at some point, Kyndra, people get content and be like, okay, I got it now.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Now I can be the one that sits around the house while she's cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids and da 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 da, doing the laundry, such. There has to be a compromise, and there has to be a lot of compromise both ways at
Hmm.
times. And when
Yeah.
people don't want to compromise, there's a lot of headbutting. There's a lot of headbutting.
Yeah, it is.
Just my 2 cents worth. Lisa,
No, go ahead,
Lisa.
Miss Lisa. What would you say to anybody? Were you married? How long were you married? 6 years, or how
So
many
the
years were you guys married for?
so for me, it's kind
'Cause
of
you
like
look young. You look
I
pretty
am.
young. You look
She does.
a cool like 35. You look like you may be
No,
35.
thank
No,
you. I
she
appreciate that.
just had a sweet 16 like 2 years ago. So
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, I'm gonna be honest. I never really lied about my age. I'm 46. Um,
Come on, 70s baby.
yeah, okay. My situation was bittersweet. We were young, okay, so I didn't get a chance to reach 7 years married. Altogether, we dealt with each other for I want to say 8 years. Okay, we were dating, lived together up and for like 5 years, then got married. We were both 28 when we got married. I mean, we were both 25 when we got married. He passed away at 28. We were both
Mm,
28. Okay.
gotcha.
So we were only married for 3 years. Ours was young. So, us being young, we didn't have any children other than the ones that we created together. So that was a plus, but it was growing for us. It was a growing. Of course, I'm a female. No shot to you, Antoine. My husband's name was Antoine too, but no shot
Mm.
to a man that a female will develop a little bit more faster than a guy. So for me, I grew up independent. I grew up, I'm already doing my thing. And he was more so like, well, my mom's in my business kind of thing. So what for me, it was like family issues. So I would add that to it, family issues. I would say we're figuring this out because we're both growing and we're young. And then sprinkle in, we've got kids. So it was more so like, wow, life hit us fast. We both had these careers. We got cars and we're trying to get a house. So we were just in the process of getting there, right? And then all of a sudden, carrying baby girl, and then he's gone. So for me, I didn't get to the 7-year itch because my duration was only 8 years of knowing this man. But in 8 years, the impact of having 3 kids, and I feel like I got robbed of being married, kind of. So I'm like, I was married, but it was kind of like more so, this is my best friend kind of thing. Yeah. So it was like, so from my, I guess, small knowledge of being a married woman, I know it was communication that we communicated. It was more so like, I was used to doing the chores. For him, it was like, dang, we got to pay bills every month like this? Yes. Yes, they come every month. We got to get this together. So we were just getting into the rhythm of life. Okay, and we're both married and we are loving on each other and we're communicating and we're keeping this going and all of that. So, thank you, Chanel. But so it was more so like, okay. So I grew up fast and I want to do it again, but it's hard out here. Now, back in late 90s, early 2000s is when I fell in love with that person, but it's hard. Mm-hmm. I am so lucky now to have met somebody I fell in love with at this point, but it took a long time to get to this point. But that, and then somebody asked me, you didn't get married in almost 18 years? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No. And not that I wasn't, I had a couple, like 2 to 3 suitors that wanted to get married with, but in growing, I know what I'm not going to accept, because it's like, if you can't even get it right at this stage and you got tricks and stuff going on now, I'm not going to sign on to that. Yeah. No, I sign on to that. So I kind of, for me, if I do it again, we can talk 7 years after that. Okay. 7 years on my end, because that was my duration. So, but yeah, I do it again. I love we got each other kind of thing. We got to have somebody there with you having your back. That's solid. I love that. So I do it again. I would.
All right. I love that.
Yeah, I would do it again. I would definitely do it again. But he has to, he has to be worthy. You gotta. I'm accustomed to be treated a certain kind of way. I'm not gonna dumb myself down. We gotta do better. Or we can leave it alone because I'm okay by myself. But if we want to elevate me, we want to build together, we're gonna build this empires and things like that, then let's do it. Because who want a headache? Who want a headache? And we definitely got to be on the same page mentally. I'm coming to you whole. I expect you to be whole. So, and that's all. That's my little 2 cents on it.
I ain't gonna say I'll never do it again, but Lord, the woman that would get me down the aisle again would have to be like a combination of a lot of women all balled into one, and just whew. Because I see the misery of a lot of people that's dating these days, man. And I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not out in the dating pool. I can't imagine. And just in some of the choices that I see that I would have, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Yep.
And here's my sister, and I was hoping she chimed in. She said, after my husband passed, I just had certain standards through him and just can't accept a lot of foolishness. I need a teammate.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, listen, we got this. And I'm not one of them women that stand up here and be like, I don't need no man. Like, I'm not her.
Right.
I'm not her.
Exactly.
Please, I like to be soft. I would love a soft life. What I said. So,
Rest in peace to Fonzo, man. That was my
mm.
guy. Like that. That's my sister's. That's my wife's sister.
Oh,
It was close to that, and when I don't even know how long it's been now, but when her husband passed away,
mm-hmm.
um, that hit hard because we were the two married couples that did everything together. We was for anniversaries and birthdays. We were always somewhere. We were
Right.
always somewhere, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody here to kill my spiders. She says nobody here to kill her
Okay,
spiders.
okay, Miss Ann. Well, Miss Ann, I have a teenage son, so I know I need him. I'm good on that. Thank you. Hello.
No, but I used to love the bond. Damn, it has been 5 years. I used to love the bond that the two of them had.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Sam was loved. I know she felt loved. I know she felt protected, and I know that she felt like the world. She felt
Mm-hmm.
like that man was giving her the world. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was a tough one. But we're not gonna do that because then I'm gonna start crying. The Kyndra
Oh
Crump
no,
Show.
don't cry.
Yeah, that was my guy right there. I have a
Oh,
picture. I have a picture upstairs of all of us together in Hawaii,
okay.
which was one of the last, if not the last trip that we went on together. And every now and then I'll sit up there and I'll look at that picture and I'll just start crying because that was
Oh.
I would like to have that. I was like, oh, can't wait for a marital couple date. We're like double
right.
dating and all that type of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
it's all in God's time. And so
Yes, in the
right
plan.
now I have to work. God is working on me, and God
Mm-hmm.
is working on him. And one thing that people have told me, several people said, listen, when you desire God more than you will a relationship, and actually being content in
Mm-hmm.
singleness, then
Mm-hmm.
he will send you what you need, not what you want. Because I didn't have what I wanted. I said,
Damn
man,
that part.
this was
That
Yeah.
part.
really this was I was the representative was representing
Oh,
in the way that lead. I'm like, woo,
did he show up? Yes, he did, but he wasn't the one. Wasn't the
I
one.
thought,
But you can admit that you still have some work to do on Kendra
oh yeah, most definitely.
before Kendra can, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing
Yeah.
because I'm a true believer that you can't make anybody happy if you're not happy, and
You can't.
Exactly.
you can't be everything that you're supposed to be for a person if you're not everything that you need to be for yourself.
That's
Right.
real.
I'm a true believer in that. So
That's
Yeah.
real.
and believe it or not, he's out there being worked on too.
Mm-hmm.
While you're being worked on your corner, he's in another corner being worked on, and somehow, some way, it's gonna it's gonna mesh.
Mm-hmm.
And Lord, I feel sorry for him when it
I ain't
does,
gonna be on
because
social media. I am not gonna be the person on social media. It's gonna be when I least expect it.
Right. No, but
yeah,
wait a minute now. Well, it could it be a she? Or they just jokes? I don't know. I'm just following
I
you.
mean,
I
at
don't.
one point, I remember I had a dream when I was like 13, 14. I had a dream that I kissed a girl and I liked it, right? So I was like, maybe I'm gay. And then
Oh.
I realized women are annoying. And I'm like, no, because I can't
wait.
sit
So you
and
didn't really have a lady sucking on your breast the other day, because you
no,
definitely said,
that's true. That actually was real, right? But yeah, I'm like, okay. Like I'm Lil Kim freaky, but like so just like I'm just down with whatever. But then I'm like, Kendra, this is not of God. Like you need to start.
Oh.
Wait, no, wait, hold on. Let me for the ones in the back who are actually gay who watch this who probably just no, don't turn off yet. This is just I'm just
"Views
I like
expressed by."
God. Again, nobody you can't no you cannot leave this or and we all sin. But when you know something's wrong, you're gonna be held accountable for that. Like Judgment Day. But what I'm saying is as much
Gotcha.
as I have this fantasy, right? Real quick. Hold on, let me bring y'all into like Kendra's world. Let's get
Oh
all close.
Lord,
Get
Okay,
all
let's go in. Come on
let
in.
so
me let me let me go on mute.
No.
okay.
He
Well
gonna go on mute.
I have this
Oh, he
fantasy
did go on
where
mute.
he did. I have this fantasy where I want to have like 4 or 5 people licking on me at the same time. I don't care who it is. I I don't care what genders it is. I have this fantasy. But then I'm like, bro, like people are nasty. Like one person on the titty, one person on the other titty, one person on the vagina, probably a penis in my mouth. Like it is, or two people on my vagina, because I was told you can get head by two people at the same time. So like I want that, right? But then I'm like, bro, like people are nasty and you don't know where their mouths have been. All right, we're out of the fantasy world. But yeah, but no, like I said, like
That's a lot going on, Kyndra.
I know.
That's why I had to click off.
But no, realistically speaking, Miss Lisa, realistically speaking, I that was fun at one point, but you know how all good things come to an end, right? It's
Yeah,
like you
right,
still out here trying to be getting hoes and stuff. It's like, bro, they're fun when they serve their purpose, but you have to
right.
find something that you know, or find someone. Me personally, I just can't. I just want a man. I'm old school. I want that leading of the household, like the man leads the household, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, me and my personalities, I don't know how this other chick is gonna deal with that. And then just always want ahead. And then it'd be so crazy. Studs will sit here and like allow a woman to suck on her dildo like she's getting head, and then she's sitting here moaning. Bitch, you can't feel that. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? Like
Where?
that is just mental illness to me. Is I want the real thing.
Wait a
And
minute.
speaking of dark
Hold on.
skinned people,
I
like, oh my
forgot that I
gosh,
should have
like
had a
really?
disclaimer going
It's
across the
so
bottom of
good.
the screen.
You said what?
Wait, what'd you say?
You said it was overcooked. What?
No, I said dark skinned penis is great. Are they grilling it? Like, what are they putting some extra seasoning on it? Oh my gosh. Well, it was so crazy. Before I was with a guy, I was always with women and stuff like that because it was more of a
Oh,
long closeness because men just were like even in middle school, high school, part of college, they were just trash. Like just a consistent trash. And I felt more close to a woman. Like I know Miss Lisa, you definitely do not swing this way whatsoever. But let's just say you were just I mean, I don't know. Like I find something new every day, right? But anyway, let's just say we're just like sitting here just hanging out, and then you just whip your titty out. I'm like, oh, let me whip my titty out, right? We're just like titty touch. Like I literally in real life, when I used to work at the airport, I used to sit here and me and when random women, we would sit here and we would titty touch each other. Like we would just and I would record it and it was great, right? Like we would sit grab each other's butts. I'm like, bro, being a woman is lit, but they left me with blue clit, okay? Like not blue balls, blue clit. And I'm like, bro, now I want to go hump on somebody, right? Like I just at this point, I'm like, Kyndra, you gotta stop setting yourself up. You the one with a whole hot and ready oven, like little I'm 400 degrees like Juvenile's album, okay? Like I am ready to go. But again, it's as fun as that is, right? As great as head may be, it's better to be with one person because again, it's how long it took me to realize that. And this is I was so freaky. I'm out here being not sexually educated, like and I was too afraid to go tell the doctor, like, oh yeah, I'm doing this because I was like, because growing up in an evangelistic household, you get whooped for anything. So I'm not even being honest with the doctor. And I'm like, oh, okay, so
you're
man,
right.
you cannot, I've learned when it comes to people, you cannot trust anyone. I'm about to hit y'all with some fun facts for the ones who may not be sexually educated, because who you got 30,000
No.
people listening to y'all's podcast. Y'all are just that popular. So I'm about to tell y'all something. A lot of people, even when it comes, there's an app out there. You can like do a screenshot of your mind chart, but there's an app where you can go and change the results and then send those, like literally screenshot your picture, your mind charts, place it in the app, and you can change the results from like non-reactive or reactive to non-reactive, right? Like people will even do something like they'll go get tested on a Monday morning at 10 a.m., go leave, go have unprotected sex with someone random. Let's say and that person burns them. They come back, they bring their partner. They're like, "Well, you said on my chart, it was you were good. I don't know why, babe. It takes you 2 or 3 minutes to cheat. I'm telling you. I don't know if
Yeah.
y'all saw that picture that was floating around social media where this woman had allowed a man to come on her, ejaculate on her face, and she got some in her eye. And she has gonorrhea on her eye now, which I mean that sounds like a fun, not gonorrhea, but like man, put your name initials on my face. It feels great. Skin, you see my skin is So clear. Anyway, she was literally watching his kids, honestly. But now she has gonorrhea and God, man. Like I am. That is just terrible. But you can get gonorrhea. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, you have got. I'm like, Lord, it was never. I promise you. Before the forbidden fruit, it was never supposed to be like that. And then I said, man, I wish I was a cat. You can just mate with people, not people, like mate with other cats, and then you can just like, it's just great. It's just it
Yeah.
reflects what they look on cooch. Like it is great. My cat, bro, right. They don't get STDs. It's amazing being an animal. Did y'all know a squirrel can scratch off an STD if it wanted to? That is
What?
beautiful.
How did you find that
A
out?
squirrel.
How did you find that
Listen,
out?
listen. Listen, I be when I was like ADHD brain, man, I just be sitting here just scrolling random animal facts. Did y'all know 50% of giraffes are bisexual?
I did not know that.
And I think if you hug a koala bear, you can get syphilis. I think I'm not sure.
If you hug them,
I think if you do, I
oh,
don't know. You gotta do a little bit more research with that. So yeah, I thought my
yeah.
cat actually was gay. This is a true
I'm a,
story.
I'm a,
My cat.
I'm gonna just leave and let y'all finish the show.
Oh
I'll
no, I
be
mean that
back
was
next
good.
Monday.
That was all. Well, that's the after party. Wait, hold on, real quick. Last thing. I thought my cat actually was gay, right? Because she was a kitten, and then like she had like looked up at my cat one day when I was like all this fur. Listen, men be wanting you to shave, but look, baby, welcome to the jungle. All right. So anyway, so she looked at
Wait a
my
minute.
cat. Her mouth was open, and I said, "Bro, I had to read her Leviticus because I'm like, we ain't doing that bestiality." And then one time she licked my nipple. One time, I was like, "Bro, this is a gay cat. I'm not time for this." I'm done with that. The end. Let's get back to where we were at because we're gonna be here for the next. I gotta go to bed soon.
Oh no.
The Kyndra Crump
Listen,
Show.
there is a person, a man out here for you. And he's gonna love
Absolutely.
everything about you and not want to change
Absolutely.
not one thing. That I
Absolutely.
promise.
Probably let the cat lick on him in places that the cat ain't supposed to be licking. But anyway.
I don't know.
So the last show before the technical difficulties knocked us off, we were going to talk about the origin of the creation of the Kyndra Crump Show. Let's go there before this show gets kicked off the air for the FCC.
Okay.
Peter.
Peter.
the alphabet. It's just a lot going.
That's a lot going on.
Okay, so
I
how did
love
my
it. I told you, Lisa.
the podcast how did my podcast come, or how did my name the Kyndra Crump Show? How which you want me to do both? To answer with both.
Absolutely.
So
You,
Instagram initially my name was Idolized Dynasty, and I was gonna be a stripper. So basically, you're idolizing, my stripper body. So I really was, and it was the name of my vagina as well. It was very idolizable because niggas will still not stop hitting me up. Leave me alone, sir. Okay, you go away. Anyway, and women too. Back to the story. That's so sad. I wish that was pure. So so
I was
I
saying out
had
to my niece. Stop.
hey niece. So what ended up happening is that I changed it to the Kyndra Crump Show because I felt like I had one. I think a Twitter name was Kyndra Crump, and then I would have like Idolized Dynasty, one platform, a different, just different names. And then somebody said, Kyndra, unless you have somebody who really is a fan, you got to have one name across the board.
Right.
So I felt like, hey, this was just really my, welcome to my show. Like a lot of people since graduating high school had told me, you your own TV show. I was like, oh, the Kyndra Crump Show, right? So literally, like my mama said, she's like, Kyndra, this is you all day. Like I'm always watching the Kyndra Crump Show. Like that's what my mama tells me all the time, right? So my mama's freaking hilarious. And so, with that being said, hold on, I'm sorry, brain fart.
That's
Come on,
okay.
ADHD brain. Okay. So as far as with the podcast, that came out in like 2017 ish, like 2017. And I started with a best guy friend of mine, Lance, and we started together because people were like, you need your own podcast. You are hilarious. So that's the only reason I started doing it was because people had they said you need your own show, but I didn't really have a concept. I was just sitting there like it was barbershop talk, right? And it's like jumping from one thing to the next. It wasn't consistent. And so that's why after I'm done, once I'm finished up with this therapy journey and I actually have money, I'm going to invest into it so it can be bigger than what it is. So I can actually have a real platform and really like have something, because I would have my podcast running 3 hours talking about whatever, right? But I had to have something to make people want to stay in tune and intact. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
It's very random. A lot of the stuff that you talk about. I think you sit down with the intention of talking about one thing, and then 17 minutes later, the
Not
conversation
17 minutes.
is totally different. But it's very captivating. It's there's something about you that you're just you're able to hold the audience just off of pure humor alone, and just off of just being Kyndra, if I can put it that way, just off of purely being Kyndra. So I don't know what the direction is that you want to go in the future, but you can't take the humor out of that, because you can't take the humor out of you. And that's what makes it. I'm telling you, I scroll through Facebook on a daily, and every time I come across one of your posts, I'm like, where did she get this stuff from? You can't. You can't, as a normal person, just sit down and this just cross your mind. There's a whole lot going on in Kyndra Crump, and it's just so. It's almost refreshing, because a lot of the stuff that you say, you almost put yourself out there to a certain degree with the stuff, and you're just so transparent, but it just be so damn funny. And I'm like, yo, she has to put this stuff into like a stand-up comedy, a comedy skit show. You have to do something along the lines of that, because this is what you have is too funny for just social media and podcasts.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So have you ever been on a stage?
I have multiple times. Once school ends, because I'm a teacher, which is like they take all my energy to go on stage. Yeah, once school ends, then I will be back on stage. So yes.
Okay.
I have to see a video or something of you on stage. No, I can only imagine.
I can see my Instagram where I've done clips of myself at different venues. Okay. And my mama showed up. I was about to roast my mama, but I'm like, Kyndra, don't do that.
Don't roast your mama.
Yeah,
you're a teacher, Miss Kyndra.
Say that again.
You're a teacher, Miss Kyndra.
Yeah, listen. I do a little bit of everything. I couldn't prostitute no more, so I had to get something to write off on my taxes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't think they give W-2s for that, but that's okay.
You know what? Hey, listen, LLC it. Okay, anything is possible.
Oh
now.
Yeah. I didn't know. Yeah, you can do that.
In 2024, you probably could, honestly.
And I got
I definitely would love. Say that again.
I said I finally got my LLC in tutoring, so I'm gonna make a Facebook page and shout that out. Man, these kids, man, 5th grade on a 1st grade reading level. What the heck is that?
Oh my!
That's another show right there. We could stop this and start another show on that, and we could talk about that for about 2 hours for me. Honestly, and the sad part about that, and we're not going to harp on it too long, but that's almost like acceptable, like it's the norm. Like
they're just trying to get them out of there, not helping them, just pushing them through. You know.
What do you teach, Kyndra?
So mainly it's really more so substitute teaching, but like people just say, "Oh, that's my teacher. You're the best teacher." But elementary, that's what it is. So I much every grade level. I would tell you, I'm thank God for a para in kindergarten, because when you got 20 kindergartners tapping you every 5 minutes, say he said this and that, it gets overwhelming. But there needs to be a para in every grade level, honestly,
Yeah.
because it like, how can, even with the older grade levels, you got 35 kids in one classroom, how are you able to really effectively teach? And then I work
Yeah.
at lower income neighborhoods, so there's a fight. These kids come to school like it's a Hunger Games. Like, what the
Mm,
heck is going on?
mm,
Fights all the time.
Mm-hmm.
mm.
They curse more than sailors. It used to be a time where you got into a fight, they would suspend you. But now you get into a fight, they send you back downstairs to your classroom with a lollipop. Tell them good job. Right? It's terrible. Because what I've learned is the same thing with the projects. You know, if there's too much crime, they shut the projects down at some point. If they have to put in about the suspension rates, then the schools will be shut down and we'll be out of business. So
Oh,
Okay.
that's the reason why. So they have to do stuff from a different perspective. So yeah.
I
And
never
no,
knew
I'm actually,
that. Wow.
so yeah, you learn something. Yeah, you learn something new every day. So I'm doing this teaching right now, so I can get my PhD in clinical social work. So I said, let me start off with the school system, and I've had to learn
Okay.
radical acceptance has taught me to not give that much of a damn when it comes with the administration, because it's some really sorry administration, and I'm like,
Mm.
you cannot be serious. Like I call parents on a regular, and I'll tell them, did you know that the school informed you that your son had punched his kid in the face? No, they didn't even say nothing. What? Well, I'm sorry to break the news to you a week later. Like, what the heck?
That's sad.
So, it's okay. It's okay.
Good to
Well,
know it's
listen,
not
thank you
just.
for your service because being an educator is a thankless job. So you guys really, my hat goes off to you because I'm serious. I mean, just the way that I make sure both everybody had got through them doors before I peeled off. Pum, I gotta go because that's a lot.
No.
Chaperoning on trips was a lot, so I cannot imagine. And
Right.
Oh
it's
my
crazy because
God.
every time I chaperone, I only had 2 kids with my child. I wound up having 7 kids. They just want to be around us, like, and I'm all like, "Wait a minute, hold on. Where's the little boy with the red hat? Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say you
come
have
on
to
over
sit here
here.
and watch. You think a field trip is fun, but you gotta sit there and make sure that
You got to
that you
watch
ain't
these
died, because
kids."
they in your hands like Allstate.
And I don't play. No child left behind.
Yeah,
Get your homeboy. Come on, let's.
we just had the incident. What was that, like two weeks ago, Lisa, where the kids were on a field trip and the bus left like 2 or 3 of them there.
Mm-hmm.
And thank
Yep.
God thank God a parent had come to pick her child up from wherever
And
they were
that's
on
how.
the field
Yeah.
trip at, and ended
Yeah.
up taking the other kids home. I'm like, bro, so
Yep.
that's what we doing. I remember every field trip I went on in school, there was a head count when you got on the
Yeah.
bus at the school. There was
Mm-hmm.
a head count when you got off the bus, and there was a head count when you got back on the bus. That bus did not move. I don't
Without
care where
everybody
we
on it.
were. We could have been
Me
in the middle
and
of Murphy Homes project,
Murphy home.
and that bus was not going to move until every head was accounted for on that bus. Now that's
They just
crazy.
peel off. Me and my son got left at the Baltimore Zoo when he was pre-K. And I'm saying to myself, good thing that another elementary school, which wasn't too far from where his real school was able to drop us off at our school because they were nice to us. But I'm like, dang, how y'all forget about me and my son? Like, dang. So it was crazy. They ain't even, and I guess they didn't take a head count. They was out of there. I don't know. I don't know, but
But but
it's crazy.
definitely thank you. I agree with her. Thank you, because
Yes.
God knew not to make me a teacher and
Yes,
a
Lord.
That's
police
what they all
officer.
said.
That's two
Kendra,
jobs I couldn't do, and I damn sure couldn't be a police officer here in Baltimore at
mm,
all. There is no way.
Mm-mm.
There is no way. So yeah, thank you for
this is
and
this.
I could see you being a dope teacher. I could
I
see.
know the kids love to come to your
I,
class.
No,
you probably.
they do it like, oh, you're better than our actual homeroom teacher. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
don't say that too loud.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, hey, truth is truth,
Yeah.
and kids are if they're not anything else, they're always going to be brutally honest. So
And they know good energy too. They do.
Yeah,
And somehow, some way, you didn't touch one of these babies' lives, and they're gonna grow up and be talking about you later on in life. So yeah.
that's
absolutely,
it. That's real. There it is.
absolutely. Kendra,
Yeah.
As I knew it would be. A lot of fun, very entertaining. So you said that you're going to wait until
Yeah, the fourth week of May, I'm going to make sure I get back on stage so I can, because I'm telling you, the energy I did it like during the Christmas break. I was out every other day,
okay.
So yeah, I make sure to get back out there.
And what about the podcast? When did you say that you wanted to bring that back?
Give me a couple of years so I can revamp and I'll be a lot
Oh,
more better financially stable because I'm trying to invest like $200 to $300 a month in the podcast with promotion, all of that type of stuff, and getting
oh,
I'm trying to be
okay.
bigger than Shannon Sharp, Clutch Shay
Okay.
Shay, having Cat Williams and then y'all can come on. We got make sure y'all come on when Cat Williams is there or we got whoever else. So Nick Cannon be, it doesn't matter. They'd be like, "Hey, look, we'll pay you 40,000 to jump on your podcast." Okay, that's cool. Thank
Well, you're in the right place to
You-
make something like that happen. So,
yeah.
um,
You
yeah,
definitely had
go.
a personality, so
I mean, that's that. She's gonna have the opening monologues like Arsenio used to have, where it's just like the first 15 minutes of the show just have people in the audience just dying
dying
laughing.
laughing, yep.
And then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we have a guest tonight.
Right.
So on and so forth. She might have Shannon Sharp on the show by that
You
time.
might.
you. Yes, that's it. Thank you all
Yeah,
so
that's
much
what's up.
for having me. I appreciate y'all. We did
Oh,
it.
you're welcome.
And we did
Yes.
it.
More.
We did it. We saw her and we heard her
Yes.
for the entire show. And we
Yes.
didn't have to cut it loose and improv for 15 minutes before we just said screw it. We're gonna shut the show down. But definitely appreciate you coming to talk to us. And I appreciate the transparency so much. Like people,
Yeah.
I love when people are open enough with their situations, where whatever it may be, to just come on and talk about it. Because I always say, like, sometimes we feel like we're the only ones that go through certain stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when we open up and we talk about it, then we learn that it's not just me.
Right.
Like, you didn't know that I had a therapist, but when you got on and you opened up about yours, it allowed me to open up about me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of dialogue that we need to have amongst ourselves, man, and just let people know you're not alone. Like, you're really not alone.
Yeah.
You don't go through what you're going through. And if you are alone, there are people out here like Kyndra. Come and talk to Kyndra. She'll make you laugh and help you. You know what I mean? So go sit on Kyndra Crump's couch for an hour, and you're gonna come out a totally different person. But yeah, I definitely appreciate your transparency, and it was definitely good to finally get to talk to you.
Yes, thank you all. You all have
And
been
you heard
great.
my voice.
I appreciate y'all.
Oh,
Absolutely.
you're so
Anytime.
welcome.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Let everybody know how they can follow you again on all of your social media.
Yes,
How they can go
name
hear some of your old podcasts and everything like that on Spotify.
Yes. So everything is just the Kyndra Crump Show podcast, the Kyndra Crump Show podcast. YouTube is Kyndra Crump. Just how my name is spelled up here.
Okay.
Instagram is the Kyndra Crump Show, and then Facebook, Ken Free Spirit. So that's just the only thing I should probably change. But no, I'm a free spirited person. So yeah, that's it. That's it. And if you don't follow me, I hope you catch a Charlie horse.
I was Charlie horses are the worst. Don't wish that
Hey,
on
I'm
nobody.
ready to follow you right now. I don't want no Charlie.
Don't wish that on nobody. Because I caught one.
Never
They're always the worst when you're in the bed. They always come when you're in the bed and you're nice and relaxed, and then you go to move and it's like, and that's the worst pain in the world. And mine makes my toes go like this when I catch it.
Throwing up signs.
Those are the worst. All right, sis, I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. You all be good now.
Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right.
Kyndra Crump, ladies and gentlemen. I told you she's hilarious, man. If you don't follow her on social media, you gotta go.
Ready to follow her
especially
right
on
now.
Facebook. She is off the chain. If you're not doing anything, actually I have two things on Saturday. Let me see if I can here's my pastor. Uncle Pastor, you gotta pull up earlier in the show, man. You know I start at 7:00. You missed all the fun. Then again, now that I'm thinking about it,
Mhm.
It might be a good thing that he didn't pull up
Oh
until
yeah,
now.
maybe not. That's the pastor. Yeah, you might not.
Some of that stuff might have became a sermon on Sunday. But shout out to all my victorious living faith family. I'm trying to pull. Shoot, I don't think. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
How am I gonna follow it?
No, I don't have it. I don't have it readily available. But I will be at an event with my good brother Ray Sittenor. Yeah, catch the replay, Pastor. I'll be at an event down in Howard County this Saturday. It's a free clinic. I believe they're doing football and basketball, but don't quote me on that. But he's going to have some professional athletes come out, teach the kids, talk to the kids, and so on and so forth. I'm going to be there, and then I'm going to actually be hosting an event at the Depot on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. That is Charles Street, right below Fayette, on the right-hand side if you're going down, which you can only go down because it's a one-way street. Bam. So I'll make sure that I'll continue to repost those throughout the week, man. But if you're not doing anything, definitely come out. Again, the event in Howard County is free, and you get like a swag bag, and you get a T-shirt, and you get to meet, all of these athletes. And I'm pretty sure he'll have some Ravens players out there and all this kind of stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think that's it for this week coming, but I know I have some other stuff coming up, so I'll keep you guys tuned in. Lisa, appreciate you as always.
Yes.
I put the heart up first.
You did.
And I did rock my Outcast shirt today because I knew that first of all, I knew she had this shirt because I saw a picture, but also because ATL was in the building. And they are my favorite group out of Atlanta. So shout out to Outkast. And if y'all ever decide y'all want to get together and do another album, I won't be mad. Come on, one more Outkast album. I only need 10 songs. That's all I need. I don't need 40 songs like who was that just dropped the album? Taylor Swift. I don't need 40 songs like Taylor Swift. I just need about 10 good Outkast songs. Nah, I'll be straight. Unfortunately, though, they won't have what was his name that just passed away? Rico Wade. He won't be a part of it. He's one of the creators of the Dungeon Family, which was the production team behind Outkast back in the day. He just passed away recently, so rest in peace to him. But yeah, just 10 songs. That's come on. That's 30 minutes. 10 3-minute song. That's all I need. And I'll be straight. All right, man. See what we got next week. What do you got next week? Next week is April.
Mm-hmm. Um,